In this video I give you my review of the Tom Baker Doctor Who story Shada, coming up. Hello and welcome to the Sao Til channel, my name's Tim. Celebrating the awesomeness is the TV show Doctor Who. On this channel I produce videos all about Doctor Who, from show news, episode reviews, historical look-backs and reaction videos just like this one, so if you are new here please consider subscribing. So today on this video I am talking about the Tom Baker story Shada. Shada, a bit of history for you if you weren't familiar with it, was probably the ultimate, the one that got away from Doctor Who history. It was a storyline that was written by Douglas Adams. It was originally going to be shown in 1979-1980, season 17 of Doctor Who, but because of a BBC technician's strike at the time, only part of the storyline was filmed, and due to various other scheduling conflicts of the BBC that came about, it was never actually completed. So for a very long time it was the one that got away for the classic era of Doctor Who. We've had various different versions of it over the time. There was a VHS version, there was a BBC iPlayer version, there was a Big Finish audio version where they reworked it to include the 8th Doctor, and up to 2017 there was never a completed version that was released on DVD until BBC re-released it with new animated footage to fill in the gaps between the stuff that wasn't filmed, and also some new up-to-date dialogue with all the original cast. So this was the first time that I'd got my hands on it. I'd never seen Shada before, didn't really know much about the storyline, and this is what I thought. I'll be honest, part of me should like Shada. I mean, I don't know, the loyalty around this show, about this storyline, means I should like it, but there was something I don't know, something was just not quite there for me in terms of the overall storyline. There were bits, there were little nuggets in amongst the river of just not nuggets, mud, if you want a better phrase, and for me it didn't live up to the hype. What you have is the Doctor and Romana 2, visiting his old friend, I have to read his name because I can never remember his name, Professor Chronotis, who was resident in University of Cambridge, one of the colleges in Cambridge, and they visit him. And then there's a little bit of a subplot about he's missing a book. You find out that Chronotis is actually a Time Lord, and he's mislaid a Time Lord book. And then the story transpires that the book is given to a human, someone who turns up, Chris Parsons. Dr. Keat calls him Bristol, which is really funny. And it ends up that there is a villain also looking for this book. His name is Skagra. He comes from space, he comes down, he gets the book, and the story leads on to the mythical prison planet of the Time Lords, which is called Shada. And cut a very long story short, we find out that Chronotis is not who he's made out to be, and his real identity is revealed as part of Skagra's plan to take over the universe by creating one mind for everybody in the universe. Yeah. There were lots of elements. I think the big thing for me that just didn't work was that Skagra wasn't a very good villain. Animated or live action, he just didn't come across as any kind of major threat. He just seemed to be very lucky in the way he went about and did things. He got the book because it fell out of the Doctor's bicycle basket. He had this omnipotent weapon of the sphere thing that would just suck your brain out, and then he was creating these crystalline soldiers that wasn't really explained until way down at the end of the storyline. So yeah, he just wasn't a convincing villain. So you kind of had that stacked up on one side, and you had the quite quaint nicety around Chronotis, and the fact that he wasn't actually who he said he was, and the two worlds they just grated along each other, I think. And for me, that's what Shada was about. I think the positives, because there was some positives, is you obviously had another Time Lord, and you had the Doctor visiting another Time Lord, and obviously there was a really good relationship there between the Doctor and Chronotis. And I suppose it's spoiler warning for you here. Spoiler, Right, Chronotis wasn't Chronotis, but he was Saliavin. Saliavin was this really mythical Time Lord prisoner that even the Doctor admired. And Saliavin had the power to transfer his mind from one person to another, and Skagler was going to use that to create this giant mind ball thing. But anyway, that element of the story was really good, and I really wish they had built on that a bit more. I really wish they built on a bit more on the relationship between the Doctor and Chronotis, and also the fact that Chronotis was actually living inside a TARDIS. I thought it was brilliant. A really nice revelation. The fact his whole office and his whole chambers within the Cambridge College was a TARDIS. Chris Parsons and Claire Keatley, the two human characters, were really rounded out quite good characters. And actually, I was halfway through thinking that Chris Parsons would make it actually quite a good companion for the Doctor. It may be a two companion team, such as with Romana and him as the human. I thought that worked really well. I think also the on location footage, the filming of the Doctor and Romana in Cambridge was nice. It was very quaint, very bohemian, British kind of image of the Doctor inside the cloisters of Cambridge, and I've had the pleasure of working in and around universities like that, and it still is like that to this day. You get this very quaint, very tradition that you get within the colleges, and you can actually understand how Chronotis managed to live there all these many hundreds of years without really getting unnoticed, because that kind of society in Britain very much is still stuck in that era, and people like that would probably go unnoticed for many, many years. Yes, Shada had potential. I think the concept of Shada as a prison planet is something that I'm really surprised no one has really developed anymore on TV with Doctor Who, especially in New Who era. We may be getting it in the festive special, who knows? Prison planet, maybe, I don't know. But the concept of the fact that you had a prison planet where all the really bad amongst the Time Lord prisoners were sent, and then all the Time Lords were forced to forget that the prison planet even existed, was quite a creepy, quite a nasty kind of thing, that all these people were stuck in suspended animation for millions and millions of years. There was no prison officers there, because they were just sat in the frozen suspended animation and just left and forgotten about. So yeah, kind of creepy, and something, yes, the Time Lords would do. Likewise, the way that people were sentenced and sent to Shada with the power of the book, brilliant concept. That it's actually not it's the actual power of the sentence through the book that sends them to Shada. And likewise, to get to Shada, you kind of have to reverse that by going back through the book and setting it within a TARDIS to take you to Shada to get back there. I thought it was a really clever concept, and again, it's something I'm really surprised no one has done. I'm not sure if it's done it in Big Finish, ignoring the Big Finish Shada storyline. I'll be interested to know whether someone's actually done that in the extended universe. Tangent for a second, the animations were really good. This is the first animated Doctor Who story I've seen since Power of the Daleks, and the animations were a lot better, kind of that pseudo 3D CGI effect for a lot of them. And again, obviously they were in colour as opposed to black and white for Power of the Daleks, so that was different. But yeah, it was really nice to see, especially the battle scenes between K9 and the crystalline creature soldiers thing. I thought it was done really well. Anyway, I digress. Overall, yes, Shada, it wasn't great. There were some really good aspects that weren't expanded on, and there were some not so great aspects that took up a lot of screen time, and I really wish they'd kind of gone down a different route with the storyline than they did. Right, there we go. There is my overview of Shada. Have you seen Shada? What did you think? Do you think the animation was really good? Do you think they could have done anything different with the storyline at the time? Stick a comment in the comments below and let me know what you think. Likewise, stick a comment in the comments below and let me know what other episodes you'd like me to view and review. Sao Til is all about celebrating the awesomeness is a TV show Doctor Who. I will be back soon with more Doctor Who related videos. Until then, thanks for watching. Cheerio for now. Bye bye.